As the skill's soul resonance activates, pink and crimson energy spirals around Nico's body, her eyes widening as she undergoes a mysterious transformation and forms a deep magical connection with Harem. Nico suddenly trembles as an overwhelming surge of power gathers in her chest, her flushed face twisting in distress while she cries that something inside her is about to burst. Unaware, a legendary weapon is forming within her body. A glowing crimson hilt slowly emerges from her chest, and in shock she realizes it is Master Harem's sword, begging him to pull it out gently as the light intensifies. Calm and unfazed, Harem grips the hilt and reassures her that this is the natural result of their soul resonance, then steadily draws out a massive red blade crackling with violent energy. The narration reveals that true soul resonance only occurs when a follower's affection reaches its absolute peak, transforming their power into a unique weapon, and Harem smirks as he recognizes the completed armament as the Bloodblade Bradshaw. Nearby, Li Shuer watches in stunned fear, sweating as she questions why someone already so powerful would even need such a weapon, anxiously wondering if he created it solely to finish her off. The scene kicks off with Li Shuer challenging Harem, asking if he's planning to finish her with his sword, but Harem just smirks, dismissing it as overthinking, then lightning fast. He unleashes a red energy strike that isn't meant to wound but to shred her outer clothes. Jacket and skirt explode into fragments, leaving her trembling in lingerie. She screams, "Why are you undressing me?" Harem stays calm, calls it a warm-up, and orders her to follow him into the nearby woods. The forest glows around them as she panics internally, flushed and nervous, thinking, "A man and a woman alone. What is he planning?" While Harem stands silently, sword on his shoulder, intentions a complete mystery. Li Shuer suddenly blushes, convinced Harem spared her because he's fallen for her beauty, imagining all kinds of romantic scenarios. But Harem just looks at her with a confused, as if he has no clue what she's thinking. She notes despite being a monster, he's actually handsome. Her mind races imagining her first time with him, face flushed, eyes wide, internally screaming it's against her morals, but she doesn't pull away. Then reality hits as Harem leans close and commands, "Whatever I say next, repeat after me," forcing her to swear eternal loyalty as his subordinate. She stammers but repeats it. The system pops up announcing he gained his second follower and shows her stats. Name: Li Shuer. Race: human, evolution. Gold lower class. Traits: powerful, competitive, likes dominant men, affection. 45%. Harem smiles satisfied, still leaning close, while Li Shuer panics, flushed, unsure of his true intentions. Li Shuer blushes hard, heart racing as she expects a kiss, thinking it's moving too fast. Then Harem steps back, coldly saying the reward ends here, telling her the petrification on her subordinates will wear off and ordering her to leave. He leans in briefly to warn her not to tell anyone. She stammers, He turns and walks through the forest, bored, asking what now? Still not satisfied? Leaving her half undressed and flustered, she shivers alone, clutching herself. Later the protagonist his coat on her, glowing with romantic aura, thinking about his warmth and scent. The system pops up. Li Shuer affection 60%. Then the scene shifts to a crescent-lit succubus village. Harem sits on his bed, exhausted but thrilled. Level 21 unlocked with new skills. 2 glowing red panels float before him, showing his class Blood Demon God and title Undead Slayer. He checks blood concealment for invisibility and health restore on attack. Feeling the rush of getting stronger, system pops up warning he can now enter the blood prison arena. No XP gained and injuries won't heal between floors. He hesitates but decides to push forward. Commands, "Open the blood prison arena." A massive red portal erupts. He stands silhouetted in the glow, smirks with glowing red eyes, remembering fortune favors the bold. Steps into the swirling vortex onto a rippling red energy surface, officially entering the arena dimension. Harem checks Knight's two-handed sword plus 30 strength minus 10 agility. Heart-piercing dagger plus 30 agility. Sun shield boosting stamina and spirit, Mighty Battle Axe balanced strength and stamina, paralyzed by indecision with no weapon skills, then spots the long-threaded cucumber with no stats but special effect. Poking enemies makes them spasm, laughs at the ridiculous choice but sees its broken potential, picks it enthusiastically. System prompts final buff, options. Armor breaker lowers enemy. Defense 1% per hit, potion restores 30% health, equipment forge gives random gear. He picks armor breaker for synergy with repeated pokes. System confirms buff activated and teleports him to the blood arena. The scene opens on a massive circular coliseum. Booming announcer explains 50 floors each with a unique defender. To progress, you must defeat them all. Perspective shifts to the commentator's booth. A playful teal-haired fairy with bat wings and high heels and denim shorts introduces today's challenger. Harem, a vampire with scarlet power, called a total newbie despite his rare race. Lee stands annoyed in the arena with a wooden practice sword. First-floor defender Benhida emerges from a dark gate. A banshee in a tattered wedding dress with veil, floating skulls and blue spirit flames chilling the scene. She doesn't attack immediately, weeps with purple celestial eyes, tells Lee, "I speak to the dead. I sense overwhelming death around you. I wail for you." Lee notices the system power ranking is missing above her name, worried the arena or her power is breaking the display. Cliffhanger leaves tension as he faces an unmeasured opponent. Harem activates skill, Red Storm. Dark jagged bats erupt around him, aiming at the banshee in her bridal gown. She's trapped in the shadow vortex. She counters with a massive purple X-slash, shredding the bats. Emerges unscathed with black clawed hands mocking him. Vanishes in a blur and reappears behind him ready to strike, declaring the fight over. Harem reveals he baited her into close range, pulls out a giant glowing green weapon declaring, "My long-threaded cucumber." The banshee goes from confident to terrified, screams, "I'd rather not get poked by that," and does an impossible vertical split to dodge the vegetable attack. Harem's battle goes fully absurd as his weapon is revealed. A giant green cucumber. A spectator calls him weird. A blue-haired batwing demon girl Benhida clearly hates stick-shaped objects. Harem closes the distance and hoists her into an awkward split. Benhida panics and cries she can't move. Her high heel slips with heart-pounding dollar-pack-dollar effects. Harem leans in, admitting even he didn't expect the cucumber to work. Taunts her for losing composure at the sight of it. Finally, he stands over her in red and white aristocratic attire, smirking with a fiery aura, declaring, "You're not getting away." Banshida refuses to surrender and instead releases a low, vibrating wail that instantly wipes the smug look off my face as a terrifying aura erupts around her. She rises into the air with purple hair flowing while shockwaves and musical notes explode outward. The sheer force slams me into a stone wall, and I realize too late that I completely underestimated her power. The spectators identify the move as her ultimate attack, Alpha Howl. A supernatural scream that doesn't just crush the body but pierces the mind. My vision blurs. My head feels like it's splitting apart. I collapse to my knees in agony as the howl invades my thoughts and everyone watching believes the fight is already over. I suddenly find myself in a quiet celestial realm where a familiar woman stands with her back turned and greets me with gentle warmth, saying it has been a long time, and the moment she turns and I see her kind face and red eyes identical to mine, my heart breaks as I whisper that she is my mother. She smiles, calls me an idiot for doubting her, and reaches out promising eternal bliss where we will never be separated again. But as I step closer, the sky darkens, thunder gathers, and her voice shifts into something desperate and demanding, urging me to take her hand. So I stop, close my eyes, and remember the real suffering of my life, the betrayals, the near death, the disease, and most of all the truth that my real mother sacrificed her life to save me and my sister so we could keep living, not escape into a false dream. My eyes snap open, burning with resolve as power erupts from my body, and I roar that it was so I could live, instantly shattering the illusion and leaving the hidden banshee behind the mental world, trembling in shock as her trap collapses under my will. The moment the chaos peaks, someone screams that it's impossible as my green makeshift weapon tears through the air and shatters the incoming dark power, proving I've completely withstood the alpha howl. I stand calmly in the skull-filled arena wrapped in a cold red aura and tell her I already understand her strength, and now it's my turn as I activate hidden blood art and vanish from sight, forcing the Banshee into panic as she unleashes an even more brutal beta howl that rains destructive energy across the entire arena in a desperate attempt to hit me even while invisible. The story gets crazier next. Subscribe and turn on notifications.